All right, so the next step that we needed to go over was the brochure automations. So let's go into that. So from the dashboard, we're going to go into automations, and we've got some brochure funnels, automations, whatever you want to call them, okay? And we've got these all numbered and things like that. They all pretty much do exactly the same thing. As soon as they fill out the form on the respective funnel page or landing page, it'll trigger it. It'll send a note, send an email, or put a note on the contact file. It'll send an email to the contact. It'll go through the wait. It'll send a text message. It'll add a tag. It'll do an internal notification, and it'll add that person to a sales opportunity. Okay, so let's go back to the funnel or the site that this is on. So let's go back to the main page, go to sites, let's close that out, and go to funnels and brochure funnels. And the first one is the ACA life change. So notice 0.01 ACA life change has a funnel. It also has a workflow. And a little bit later, I'll show you that it also has a folder of custom fields. Okay, so now if I go on here and I go into edit mode, and again, I'm just showing you where this is. Right here is that form. So it's the 0.01 ACA life change form. And if I wanted to change any of the fields on this form, you can't do it here because this isn't the form. This is the funnel page. So we would need to go into the funnel. We need to go into the form. So let's go back to the form here. And we're going to go to sites and forms at the top and go to builder. Again, we can ignore that. Under 0.0 brochures, we have a 0.01 ACA life change form. And here's where those fields are. So you can get in here. You don't like this message, you want to call it something else, you want to not collect an email address or not collect a phone number, you can do all those things in here. And there's another training on how to change up this form. Okay, but that's how you would do it. Now, this has all these fields on here. Okay, now these are all standard fields, but under the plus sign and custom fields, if there's any specific fields that were belonging to this form, it would show up under custom fields right here. There are no custom fields on here, which makes sense because it's first name, last name, email address, phone number, and a message, right? Those are standardized fields. If there's any custom fields like questions about ACA, then that would go on the field. So let's create a custom field. You can create it, add a new custom field here, or you can go back and under settings, I like to do it under here because I like to keep everything nice, neat, and orderly. And under folders, and then we would do under the brochures. So let's go increase that to a bunch of other ones. Go to the brochure funnels. Where are they? We may just want to create one for the 0.01. Doesn't look like we've got any. Here we go, test demo. Are you on Medicaid, right? So we've already used this one before, so we may want to add one for the ACA. And we'll just do a radio select. And we'll do a 0.01 ACA. Did you change address, or have you moved? How about that? Okay, so we're going to copy that, and we're going to say yes, and we're going to say no. Doesn't matter what the question is. The point is that we've got a custom question now that needs to be added to that form for that survey, for this automation to work. So we're going to go back to the form, life change form, and we need to add that question. And it was 0.01, 0.01. There it is. We're going to add this question, and it's a yes or no question, so we're going to click Save. So now that question is added. We didn't have to do anything under the sites, so here's the sites. We're going to go under Funnels, and now that will automatically get updated. I'll just view it here. There's that question, okay? Now under the automation though, let's go back to the automations. We're going to go to Brochure Funnels and ACA Life Change Form. And here's those questions. Now we may want to say, okay, only add it to the sales funnel if they had a yes to that question that we added, right? Any no's, we'll just put it somewhere else. But if it says yes, then we want to create or update an opportunity. So what we would do is we would need a wait first. And this is wait for the question to be answered, yes or no. And that is under condition, particular condition, contact details, and that is a 0.01. Have you moved out of the area? Is yes. Save. So now we've got to wait for a yes or no answer for that question. And then if they say yes, then we're going to do something, right? So, and if it's a yes, so now we need an if-then statement, if-then, and we're going to do if yes. And contact details, we're going to scroll down to that 0.01. It's in here somewhere. Just got to find it. Unfortunately, there is no search box for it. You just have to look for it. There you go. Select your operator is yes. So if it's yes, we want to add it to the sales pipeline. If it's no, then we want to remove it from the sales pipeline to say, right? So we would just put an end or a stop here. Let's just put a note on the person's file. So answered no to 0.01 ACA life change form question. Okay. There we go. So this is what's known as a condition, right? So we waited for the answer, yes or no. The condition, if it's yes, do this branch. If it's no, do that branch, okay? So that's another thing that you can do inside of brochures or any funnel really, or any workflow.